Good day, Mr. Chairman, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, co-debators, and my fellow students. My name is Mr. Khalifa Gobi, a student of National Academy, and I'm here to deliver the motion that first oil more because I am blessed in Nigeria. Let me first and foremost define the ingredients. First oil, also known as crude oil, is a natural resource formed from the remains of ancient plants and animals. It can be refined into basic products like petrol, diesel, and kerosene. It causes something that brings about harm, suffering, and misfortune. While some may argue that it is more of a blessing, I, Mr. Khalifa, can strongly believe that it will more harm than good to Nigeria due to the following reasons. Firstly, corruption and mismanagement. First oil provides the millions of revenue for the government from products like roads and schools. Unfortunately, despite this revenue, corruption and mismanagement prevent most Nigerians from benefiting. The discovery of oil has led to massive corruption. Billions of naira generated for oil production are often being misused or stolen by a few wealthy elites, and the majority of citizens live in poverty. In fact, meanwhile, that of producers in Africa, many Nigerians have access to basic needs like quality education, clean water, and healthcare. All was this development has fueled greed and poor leadership. Secondly, environmental degradation. Fossil oil provides jobs to millions of Nigerians through farming, fishing, and restoration. Unfortunately, farmers and fishing waters are being destroyed, which leave many unemployed. Oil exploration and cause massive harm to the environment, especially in the Niger Delta area. Oil spills pollute rivers and farmers, making it difficult for people to fish or farm. Gas flaring, which is the essence burn of gas and production, releases harmful substances into the atmosphere. This can cause health problems like respiratory diseases. Thousands of lives and livelihoods are lost due to production of oil in Nigeria. Thirdly, overdependence on oil. Nigeria relies too much on neglecting other important sectors like manufacturing and agriculture. If Nigeria invested in other sectors, manufacturing and agriculture, they have achieved food security, large-scale agriculture, the low interest processing materials, and created millions of jobs. Regions are specialized based on natural resources. Cocoa in the west, and in the north, and palm oil in the east, ensuring balanced development across all regions. With a lot of overdependence, Nigeria would have built a stable and diverse economy that's vulnerable to access to and capable of providing a quality infrastructure and social services for its citizens. Fourthly, before oil was a better Nigeria funds projects like roads, bridges, and power plants. Unfortunately, corruption leaves many projects unfinished, especially up producing areas in Nigeria Delta. Mr. Chairman, before the discovery of oil in Nigeria, we relied on manufacturing agriculture and we were better for that. Regions specialized based on the natural cocoa in the west, orange in the north, and palm oil in the east. This ensured balanced development across all regions. Each region developed its own pace of learning on what's learning from one part of the country. By depending solely on Nigeria, unity and strength. This further provide for soil because they are blessed in Nigeria. Fifthly, conflict and instability. The oil rich Niger Delta faces constant violence and unrest. Many youths angry over lack of development in societies, turn to militancy and pipeline vandalism. This insecurity not only help local people but scale away investors who could really help their economy grow. Lastly, the price fluctuation. The price of oil is not stable. When global oil prices fall, the country's economy suffers. This leads to inflation, unemployment, and delayed government projects. For instance, during the oil price recession in 2016, Nigeria entered a severe economic recession which affected millions of lives. An economy which depends on stable sovereign economic for long-term growth. In conclusion, oil has some benefits: negative effects, corruption, unemployment, loss of value, corruption, far outweigh the positives. But I strongly stand by the mission that first oil might because they invest in Nigeria. Thank you for listening.
Fossil oil, often referred to as black gold, has been a significant resource for many countries, including Nigeria. However, its discovery and exploitation have brought numerous challenges and negative consequences for Nigeria, leading some to consider it a curse rather than a blessing. My name is Aisha Ibrahim Garba, a 7th student from Castle Academy. I'm honored to stand before you today to oppose the motion fossil oil is a blessing, not a curse to Nigeria. First, we have social and economic inequality. Despite the vast wealth generated from oil, the benefits have not been evenly distributed. A small elite caste and multinational corporations have disproportionately benefited, while the majority of Nigerians, especially the oil-producing regions, remain impoverished. Secondly, Nigeria's heavy reliance on oil has led to neglect of other sectors such as agriculture and manufacturing. This overdependence on oil has distorted the economy, making it vulnerable to fluctuations in global oil prices. Thirdly, conflict and violence. The competition for control over oil revenues has led to conflict and violence in Niger Delta region. Militant groups have demanded the fair share of oil revenues and protesting environmental degradations. Lastly, oil exploitation and extraction have caused severe environmental damage, particularly in Niger Delta regions. Oil spills, glass flaring, and improper waste disposal has polluted water bodies, destroyed farmlands, and devastated aquatic ecosystems. Over-reliance on oil has created economic volatility, meaning fossil oil has created an economic dependence on a single resource. When global oil prices drop or fluctuate, Nigeria's economy suffers severely because of its heavy reliance on oil revenues. I stand hungry to say that in as much as the proponents of this topic might say that fossil oil has failed our country's prosperity. But as mentioned above, it is much more because it has done more harm than good. Hypothetically speaking, permit me to jump it into the eardrum of my opponent to say that fossil oil has fueled a cycle of overdependence, social economy, social inequality, and it has also created what is known as resource curse, where the wealth generation from oil has not trickled down to the majority of Nigerians but has instead led to corruption, conflict, and an underdeveloped infrastructure outside of the oil sector. Therefore, while they may argue that fossil oil is a blessing, I firmly believe that it is much more, because Nigeria's future lies in diversifying its economy, not depleting its natural resources for temporary gain. Thank you for your attention and thank you for listening.
All protocols duly observed. My name is Halima Abuja, a yes of Council Academy. Supporting the motion that says fossil oil is more of a cause than a blessing in Nigeria. My opponent might say that fossil oil empowers job creation, but have you ever wondered why there are more people than else in our society today? Do you know that workers in the fossil oil industry face occupational hazards and massive exposure to chemicals and accidents? Secondly, I see so many fields carried out by the measure of urban generation and industrial development. But my dear audience, have you take a look at the economic inflation across the nation? Fossil oil has imposed a significant effects that drastically affected the way that we live, talk, and reason. With this viewpoint of my own, I hope I'll be able to convince you and not to confuse you that fossil oil is more of a cause than a blessing in Nigeria. Thank you.
And gentlemen, esteemed judges and honorable opponents, my name is Alabi Pisbemisola from Junior Secondary School Area 11. I stand before you today with a resolute spirit to unveil a bitter truth: fossil fuels. Far from being a blessing or a profound curse upon our planet and its people, for too long Nigeria has danced to the tune of oil wells, only to find our feet shackled to environmental ruin, health crisis, and economic fragility. Today, I will prove to you all why fossil fuels are a scourge we must reject for a cleaner and safer tomorrow. Let's ask ourselves, if truly fossil fuels are a blessing, why do they turn our Niger Delta into a dirty mess? Why do oil-rich countries like Nigeria and Venezuela suffer while the earth gets hotter every day? Is it fair that our brothers and sisters breathe bad air every day? Firstly, what are fossil fuels? They are those hydrocarbons, oil, coal, and natural gases formed from ancient organic matters. Yes, they are powered our homes and industries, but at what cost? Their devastating environmental, health, and economic tolls outweighs every other gain. They are a ticking time bomb threatening our climate, our children, and also our future. Secondly, fossil fuel chokes our health. World Health Organization estimates 7 million premature deaths yearly due to air pollution. Over 100,000 of those are ours right here in Nigeria. In Niger Delta, oil spills and gas flaring have poisoned our rivers and turned our soil into dust. If this is really a blessing, then tell me, why does it kill us? According to Carbon Brief, oil accounts for 93% of Nigeria export revenue, making our economy open to price swings. Our economy hangs on a thread tied to oil wealth. Remember when oil prices crashed in 2020? Our economy dropped into recession, jobs vanished, prices skyrocketed, and hunger spread like wildfire. This recessive reliance on fossil fuels, my fellow Nigerian, it's just a trap. My teammates will further unpack these causes, but know this: fossil fuels are a scourge and we must reject it.
Thank you, peace. Let me lay bare evidence. Fossil fuels, cause with Nigeria as our witness and the world as our mirror, starting with Nigeria Delta, our oil hearts have turned to wasteland. Oil spills drown our rivers, gas flying light our sky up with poison. The United Nations Environmental Program estimates that cleaning up this ecological disaster could take up to 30 years and cost billions of naira. Our fishermen cast their nets into the sea just to come out with nothing. Our farmers reap barren soil. This is not a blessing, it's a calamity. Now let's go back to history. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill that happened on 20th of April 2010 dumped 4.9 million barrels into the sea, killing ecosystem and livelihood. Now, that is not enough. The 2008 Bodo spill that dumped thousands of barrels into Rivers State, killing fishes and leaving people without marine life for years. Is it right that our kids in Warri breathe in smoke every day? This question matters. Next, our health bleeds. In Port Harcourt, the smokes from these fossil fuels fills hospitals with coughing children and grieving mothers. The World Health Organization says out of 7 million deaths worldwide, at least 100,000 Nigerians die yearly from this polluted air. If fossil fuels act as a blessing, why did they cause our lungs? Climate vulnerability. Nigeria is among the most climate vulnerable nations, facing rising sea levels and extreme weather events, all worsened by this global fossil fuels emission. A 25 ResearchGate study on climate change and agriculture from this 2000 to 2023 highlights all the negative impact of agricultural productivity indirectly linked to fossil fuel emissions. That's our evidence. Let's hear more.
Exactly. Now let me dismantle our opponent's claims and light a path forward. Our opponents might say fossil fuels give jobs and power. But wait, let's check. A 2023 International Renewable Energy Report shows renewables employ 12 million globally, outpacing fossil fuels 11 million. Solar and wind offer more jobs, cleaner air and stable growth. If oil is a blessing, why are oil-rich nations like ours often poor and troubled? They will boast of energy security, yet oil's volatility sank us down in 2020, while Germany thrives with over 40% renewable energy. Nigerian sun and wind are reliable. Why do we cling to a dying fuel? They might claim we need fossil fuels to develop, but India and China pivot to renewables, and Costa Rica runs on clean energy. At the 28th United Nations Conference, over 100 nations vowed to cut off fossil fuels. Nigerian CNG projects and solar forums show that we can jump forward too. Fossil fuels cause us with ruined land, sick bodies and fragile wealth. Renewables promise health, jobs and a future. Opponents, your ideas are old. Let's use Nigerian sun and wind for a bright future. Judges, help us choose life over these causes.
My fellow Nigerians, we've been told that oil is our black gold, our ticket out of poverty. But has it? Our lands are poisoned, our air is thick with smoke, and our children are sick. Now so it's supposed to be. This is not a blessing, because can we call something a blessing when you demand such a heavy sacrifice from our health and home? This is a curse and we must reject it. I remain Alabi Peace, and with me,
Yusuf Nabila.
It's okay, Amanda.
and we are from Junior Secondary School Area 11. We are not here to muddy the waters, we are here to crystallize the facts.
Fossil fuels are a scourge.
A cause.
And we must reject it.